Okay, so as a nutritionist, I see a lot of dubious health claims out there talking about gut health and a lot of honestly misinformation. I get so many questions from my clients about gut health, what really helps your gut health. So I want to take today as a chance to do a video talking about the 4 mistakes you might be making when it comes to your gut health and of course, what to do instead. Okay, now before we get into the actual video, I want to make a huge disclaimer that this video is intended for people who do not have any digestive disorders, have any specific food intolerances or issues with their digestive system, okay? Because I work with a lot of the clients who have a lot of struggles with gut health and their digestion, and we have a different set of recommendations for them than I do for people who are struggling with bloating and with indigestion and with constipation, things like that. So please, if you have a certain condition that impacts your digestion a lot, please take this advice with a grain of salt, and remember that if you want personalized advice, you can always reach out to me directly at Passion for Plants on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to give you some custom feedback. Okay, the number one gut health mistake that I see people making is not eating a high enough quantity of plant foods. Now, what do I mean by plant foods? I'm talking fruits, vegetables, and all other plant foods. So that typically means whole grains and things like lentils and beans, pulses, right? Chickpeas, peas, split peas, all those types of foods. Now, this might sound really obvious, but the reason that it's so important to make sure you're eating a high quantity of these foods is because your gut bacteria is what makes up our good gut health, okay? So inside the gut microbiome, we have different good, what we call beneficial gut bacteria, and bad gut bacteria, essentially. Different foods are feeding those different gut bacteria. So when you're not eating a high enough quantity of these fresh foods, the balance of your overall diet and your food intake probably is leaning more towards processed foods, maybe more towards animal products, meat and dairy products. And it's not that those foods are altogether nutritionally awful in any way of the sense, but it's more that we have to look at the overall proportion of the foods you're eating to each other and what does your day-to-day food intake look like, okay? Because that's what's going to determine your gut health along with a lot of other non-food related factors. But that's the number one mistake that I see people make, is that you're not eating a high enough quantity of these beneficial plant foods. So what can you do instead? You can increase your fruit consumption from 1 serving a day to 3 servings a day. Same thing with veggies. If you're only having 1 to 2 servings a day of veggies right now, try to double it, see how that works. And this is exactly what I teach clients how to do inside my program, The Method Healthy Habits for Life, which you can learn more about down below. Okay, the second biggest mistake I see people making when it comes to their gut health piggybacks off of mistake number 1 of not eating a high enough quantity. And number 2 mistake is not eating a wide enough variety of these plant foods, okay? Now, in mistake number 1, I didn't explain exactly why plant foods are so beneficial for your gut microbiome, but let me walk you through it now. So our gut microbes eat the insoluble fiber that is inside plant foods, okay? Which is why it's specifically plant-based foods that are going to be really beneficial to a good gut microbiome. So what does that mean? Things that are animal-based, so meat, dairy, and eggs, do not contain any fiber, right? Because animal products do not contain fiber. You can only find fiber in plant foods. So that's why it's really important to not just eat a high quantity, so increase your portion sizes of plant foods, but also to eat a large variety of plant foods, okay? We already know we should be eating a balanced and varied diet to get enough vitamins and minerals for our bodies, but what we don't know always is that we need to be eating a large variety of plant foods as well so that we can give our gut microbes a balanced and varied diet too, okay? Now, there's a few different types of fiber, and it's important that we're not just using a fiber supplement or only eating 1 or 2 types of vegetables in order to get fiber. So just like we need a varied diet, so do our gut microbes, and this is why it's so beneficial to eat lots of different kinds of fruits, veggies, and plant foods all together, not only because it's benefiting our gut health, but it's also going to benefit our own health, okay? So the wider variety of plant foods, nutrient-dense, antioxidant-packed plant foods that we're eating, the more exposure we're giving our bodies to different micronutrients. And that's really important too when it comes to getting an increased consumption of vitamins and minerals as well. And now the point I touched on earlier is that there are different types of fiber and your body needs all these different kinds, okay? So the fiber that's found in an apple is not gonna be the same type of fiber that's found in oatmeal. So same thing with resistant starch that's found in potatoes, right? So it's really important to eat different types of fruits and vegetables because your body and your gut microbes are getting different benefits from each one of those plant foods. Now, mistake number 3 that I see people making when it comes to their gut health is getting way too caught up in supplements for gut health, okay? And this one kind of kills me because I feel like the wellness industry has taken everyone's new interest and desire for good gut health and kind of hijacked it to try to sell us really expensive supplements that you don't often need to improve your gut health, okay? So I'm talking all those fancy probiotics, and this one kills me, all these prebiotic supplements that you can take now to improve your gut health, when in reality, improving your gut health, 95% of the time when I do this with clients, it comes from a like wide variety of lifestyle behaviors and improving and changing their diet and their nutrition intake, okay? Very rarely do I recommend supplements specifically for gut health because we can do so much by changing lifestyle and food intake first. So absolutely, probiotics, there is a time and a place for probiotics, and I think if you want to take one and you find that it helps you, by all means keep taking it. But something like a prebiotic fiber is honestly, it's laughable because marketers and these prebiotic fiber supplements have really capitalized on consumers' lack of knowledge around nutrition and around gut health. Because if you know a little bit about nutrition, chances are you know that plant foods are the best prebiotic fiber that we can ever consume. So prebiotic means that it's giving your gut microbes the food that it needs to create those beneficial compounds that give us better gut health, okay? So they're producing short chain fatty acids after eating fiber. So instead of taking an expensive prebiotic supplement, just go back to mistake number 1 and make the adjustments there, increase your quantity of plant foods and increase your variety of plant foods that you're consuming, and you will be getting plenty of prebiotic fiber from those foods themselves. Now, of course, you guys, if you like taking probiotic or prebiotic supplements and you want to do that, that's up to you. Feel free to do so, but I'm telling you, it is not necessary and you can make a lot of changes without needing to take a bunch of supplements for your gut health. Okay, mistake number 4, and this is the final mistake I'm going to be covering in this video, and this is perhaps the most egregious, but also can be the hardest for people to change, okay? Mistake number 4 that I find people make with their gut health is, for those of you with food intolerances or with straight up food allergies, you keep eating the foods that your body is telling you it does not like, okay? And I'm talking to all these people out here that are allergic or their bodies do not tolerate dairy or gluten, okay? Now, I know how difficult it can be to live in a world where you want to eat cheese and bread and your body doesn't tolerate it very well. However, it is doing a lot of damage to your gut when you are intolerant or allergic to dairy or gluten and you continue to choose foods that have dairy or gluten in them, okay? It is really, like, a probiotic is not gonna undo the damage that you do when you're lactose intolerant and you choose to keep eating cheese. We really got to make a lifestyle change here, okay? And I know that that's easier said than done, and this is something I help a lot of my clients with, again, inside my coaching programs, because a lot of people these days are lactose intolerant or are very sensitive to different gluten products. So it's about finding what foods work for you that don't make your stomach really upset. Every time you're eating a food that your body's intolerant to, it is setting off an inflammatory response inside your gut microbiome. And that's definitely not what you want, because that's going to lead to more stress in the gut microbiome, and it's going to, over time, take a toll on your gut health. And that's definitely not what we're looking for here, right? So I really encourage you to try to reduce and eventually eliminate the consumption of those foods that you know your body's intolerant to. And if you're looking for help with this, I teach you how to do this inside of my coaching program. Again, you can find the details below, but this is something that I find a lot of people really struggle with, but it's also one of the things that makes the biggest change in your life when you're able to cut out those foods that are truly not doing your body any good, okay? And we can do this in a way where it's not restrictive. I have plenty of clients who are gluten-free and who are dairy-free, and they have very satisfying and nutritious and well-balanced diets as well. So just know that that's possible. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the 4 biggest mistakes that I see people make when it comes to their gut health. This is just a short list. I go through like 15 other mistakes and what I recommend doing instead for gut health inside the method Healthy Habits for Life, because there's so many different things and so many specific factors that impact your gut health. I didn't even touch on any of the lifestyle factors today, but I would really love to know what you guys think of this video. If you enjoyed it, if it was useful, if you learned something new, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel, and let me know what video you want to see next. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.